welcome back or welcome to my channel. I am starting another weekend reading vlog. This time I will be swapping my screen time for reading time. Hopefully that will help me be more productive and really focused on my reading this weekend. As you would have seen, I already have my coffee ready. I noticed after I filmed that clip that I did film it in slow motion, so I'm going to go back and try to fix that if I can. If not, enjoy the slow-mo clip of me making coffee. I actually just got a camera, and that's what I'm filming on right now, which is so exciting. I went with a pretty popular choice, I feel, the Sony ZV-F1, yes. It is the Sony ZV-1F vlog camera for content creators and vloggers in the color white. And I'm really enjoying it. Obviously, I'm still getting used to how it works instead of using my iPhone to film, but I really enjoy it so far. So I did go ahead and take a screenshot of my screen time for last Saturday and Sunday, and it's not as bad as I thought it would be. And on Saturday, it was, if you can see that, I don't know. It was 7 hours and 53 minutes, but that's not true. That's not exactly true because it also counts how long you're on your camera, and Saturday is when I filmed a lot. So 2 hours of that was filming. I don't think it's fair to count that as my screen time. So I'm just going to deduct 2 hours from that and read for 5 hours and 53 minutes. That sounds fair to me. So that is what I'm doing for today. So Sunday will be a little bit better. That day was 5 hours and 12 minutes. I didn't film a lot on that day, so I don't really need to worry about what is registering as camera time. But yeah, today is Saturday. We're going to read for 5 hours and 53 minutes. I will keep a timer and let's see how much reading I can get done. All right, so I picked 3 books off my shelf to try to get through. Beowulf by Maria Dahvana Headley. This is one that I picked up on a trip to Boston, and I have such a fond memory with this one because I started reading it in the Boston Public Library, which if you've been there, it's absolutely gorgeous. Perfect vibes for a book lover. While in the library, I read the intro to the book and just a couple pages of the actual poem. So basically, we'll be starting this one from the beginning. I need to finish this for a video I'm hoping to film soon. And then the next book I hope to get to is Where the Library Hides by Isabel Ibanez. This is the sequel to What the River Knows. I really enjoyed that one. It gave off mummy vibes, and our main characters are like Evelyn and Rick O'Connell from The Mummy. Love those characters, so I really enjoyed seeing it in the book. We are following, and What the River Knows ended in a way that makes me want to read this. This is the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition, so I'll just show you how beautiful it is. We've got hieroglyphs on the front, on the naked book. And then artwork. How beautiful is that? I believe it's the same. Yeah, it's the same front and back, but it's so pretty. Yeah, so since this one is the sequel, I won't be able to give too much detail. I don't want to spoil anyone. I think you should pick this up. I mean, it's YA, it's a quick, fun read, so I recommend it. I really enjoyed the first one. In the first one, we are following Inez as she travels to Egypt after the mysterious deaths of her parents. She wants answers. She doesn't really have any closure, and she knows that her parents have been traveling to Egypt and researching all this time, so she finds it a little bit suspicious. So we follow her travels to Egypt and meeting with her uncle and his assistant. His assistant, we get the nice banter and everything like that. So looking forward to this one. And I did pull off my shelves Bram Stoker's Gibbet Hill. This one was a lost story of his, recently found and republished in this pretty edition. I really like Dracula. I picked this one because it is short, but also I do want to read it. If I feel like, if I do get through those first two and if I feel like this one is better saved for the fall, then I'll put it back on my shelves. But I did pull this one down because I got it recently and it's been on my mind since. This. A man escaping the confines of London walks on Gibbet Hill in Surrey, drinking in the lush scenery, taking a breath from his busy life when the idyllic landscape emerges something out of place. Oh, sorry, when from this idyllic landscape emerges something out of place. A tombstone, and beside it 3 children, striking in their youth, yet with a presence that feels almost as old as the hills themselves. Ooh. Alright, so excited for this one too. Ugh. Unfortunately, my coffee is getting cold now, and there's nothing worse than cold coffee when it's not supposed to be cold. But anyway, let's get some reading done. Okay, so I've just paused the stopwatch for a moment to let you know that this translation of Beowulf is told in contemporary language. So it's using words like bro, it's using curse words, dude, etc. Interested in this one? It is a newer release, a newer translation of Beowulf. It came out in, let's see, 2020, so just about 4 oh gosh, it's 2025. Oh my goodness, so about 5 years ago now. That's crazy. Just wanted to let you know that that is this translation, and what makes it different from others is that it is told in modern English using slang and also take a feminist stance through Grendel's mother. I have finished my first book of this vlog, the new translation of Beowulf. Wow. So first I want to say that I was using a stopwatch on my phone to see how long it took me to read this, right? And I would pause, of course, if I had to get up, get a drink, whatever I needed to do, and I accidentally hit the X and took away the stopwatch, which from what I understand, there's no way to retrieve that information. Thankfully, I knew that I was at 1 hour and 33 minutes at the time. So now I'm just using a timer. So at the time, that meant I had 4 hours and 20 minutes left to read, since I started with 5 hours and 53 minutes. So now we are at 4 hours and 12 minutes left that I need to read today. So first book down, very happy about this one. I will say that it took me a good minute to get used to the contemporary language in this one. I found myself laughing sometimes just because it felt so a little bit absurd, but in the end I did enjoy it, and I think this is a fresh take on Beowulf and it was fun to read. There's a part where he's talking a story from his past, and he goes, well, listen, buddy, and then that just made me laugh. And so, you know, like I said, they're using bro in place of ho or behold. Some curse words in here, So it does make it more readable, maybe. I enjoy Beowulf though. This is the third translation I've read, so regardless, I enjoy the story, whether it matches the language we use today or not. But yeah, I like this one. I think I'll sit with it for a moment and think about it, but I'm happy. First book down in this vlog, 4 hours and 12 minutes left. I'm going to do my best not to mess up this timer this time. Almost 12. Now we're getting into the afternoon. I still need to get ready for the day, and then when I go to pick up Where the Library Hides, I'll start the timer again and update you then. Hello, it is the next day. I apologize for not updating you until now. Yesterday I actually went to go visit my grandparents. I needed to go see them, and of course I miss them, so I do spend as much time as I can with them. So I have some carryover from yesterday. I was supposed to read for 5 hours and 53 minutes yesterday. I ended up I stopped reading around 10 or 10:30, I believe, leaving 2 hours and 44 minutes that I still needed to read. So carry over into Sunday today. Today's challenge is to read 5 hours and 12 minutes, at least originally. And now with that added time, it'll be about 8 hours of reading today. So I have been reading this morning, and now I am on my timer, an hour left from yesterday's time, as you can see here. And then I will set the timer for the rest of the 5 hours and 12 minutes to get that done. But I did want to update you a little bit on Where the Library Hides. I do read with the dust jacket off. I just put it back on to update you, and I'm really enjoying this one. The first book ended in such a wild way that I couldn't wait to get into the sequel, and I love that the author acknowledged that on the dedication. For the readers who stayed up all night agonizing over the epilogue and what the river knows, this one is dedicated to you. And I just love that. So yeah, this book picks up right where the first one left off. It's been so fun so far, and I'm reading a lot faster than I expected. I think I will finish this one maybe even within the next couple of hours. I'm on page 155, which is chapter 12, and this book only has a little over 370 pages. Sorry if you can hear Mabel drinking in the background. But yeah, so like I said, the first book, it was like pitched as The Mummy meets Death on the Nile. The setting is in Egypt, and I think that's really where they got the Mummy inspiration, along with the chemistry between Inez and Wit. That is reminiscent of Evie and Rick in The Mummy, and I love The Mummy. I think that if you do love The Mummy though, and you're expecting this book to be just like it, it won't be, so definitely don't go into What the River Knows expecting that. I think you'll be disappointed. What the River Knows, this duology is a historical fantasy. The fantasy elements come from magic and it being woven into objects in the story. So it's not overpowering, it fits into the setting perfectly, into the plot perfectly, which I really like. and I love anything historical. I'm loving all the YA historical stories we're getting. There were so many wild twists in What the River Knows. We're seeing the outcomes of those, how these characters are dealing with them, and trying to still solve this mystery. Now I have a coffee to get me through the last part of this challenge. It has been really cool just seeing how much I can read when I'm actually focused on reading. So I'll turn the timer on and I'm just reading. That is all I'm doing. And that has made such a big difference in my reading speed. I always say that I'm a slow reader, but I finished Beowulf, which I know Beowulf is a poem, but it's a long narrative poem, and I finished that book in basically an hour, which is great for me. And then every time I pick this up, I make such great progress. So it's really fascinating to me. Like, maybe I'm not a slow reader, maybe I just have issues with focus and my attention span, because I mean, I know I do. I'll get a notification from YouTube and then I'll want to watch someone else's YouTube video, or I'll want to watch a show, and I'm a sucker for reality TV, so I want to watch reality TV. But I think that this challenge has really shown me that if I just focus on being productive and getting my reading goals done, I can absolutely do that with no hassle. And also it does help that this book is just so fun. I don't think it's brilliant by any means, but it's very enjoyable. I have noticed the author using similar, if not the same, phrases throughout a couple of the chapters so far, but it doesn't take away from my enjoyment of this story. Yeah, it seems like I'm going to finish this one and be able to pick up another one unless I lose my momentum, and then, but I definitely think I will be finishing this in this vlog, which makes me very happy. That'll be 2 reads this weekend, and I'll have made great progress on my reading goal. All right, let's get into reading for another 6 hours. So I am almost on part 4 of Where the Library Hides, which means I'm almost done with this book, and we are seeing all kinds of twists, and it is very, very... Here's Mabel wanting to jump in on the conversation. Basically, the story is moving very fast now because we are, getting near the end. A little bit less than 100 pages of story to go through, and it's wild. I have finished Where the Library Hides, and it took me a lot longer. Oh, I should pause. Yeah, that took me a lot longer than I thought it would at the beginning. All right, so I have 46 minutes and 21 seconds left of this challenge. So if I don't take a lot more pauses, I should be done by 9 p.m. today. So as you could probably tell by that time, I did lose momentum, and it did take me a lot longer to get through the last half of this book than it did to get through the first half, but overall I really enjoyed it. The story is just a lot of fun and a lot of twists in the second half. My mind was struggling to get around it sometimes, but a lot of fun. I love the epilogue, it's so neat. It's like at the end of a movie where you get to know, yeah, just what's going on in everyone's lives. And they've got illustrations and it's so cute. I loved it. I will say that Inez as a main character is not the smartest. She is very, very trusting, and sometimes it does get a little bit, like, it just sometimes makes you, at least it made me roll my eyes. I'm just like, get it together, girl. We're on the second half of your story now, you know? Sometimes you should know better. But again, she's really young and everything, and it's still fun. And that's part of what keeps the mystery going. Another story down. Of course, the point of this mission isn't to see how many books I can finish, but just to get reading done and focus on my reading, be present in my reading. It's working. Okay, so I do have 46 minutes left in this challenge. Don't know if I'm gonna go with the book I originally said I would go with, Gibbet Hill, or whatever it's called, by Bram Stoker. I might pick up a poetry collection. I don't know. I'm gonna take a few minutes to decide, and then I'll get back on to confirm what I chose for the last 46 minutes of this challenge. Alright, so I have made my selection for what I'll start on or read last, however far I can get. It is a collection of poems called Thrall by Natasha Trethewey. This one is supposed to be charting the intersections of public and personal history, exploring the historical, cultural, and social forces that determine the roles to which a mixed-race daughter and her white father are consigned. So, expecting this to be very powerful. Oh, also, I did realize that I have been saying Gibbet wrong. I've been calling it Gibbet Hill. It is Gibbet Hill. So, anyway, if I leave that in the video, it is Gibbet Hill, as in like the gallows, and not as in Gibby from iCarly. Wow. I finished this collection early, before my timer has gone off, and wow. This collection is great, and yeah, it's great. Wow. There's notes about like the historical significance of some of the poems, if it's mentioning an image or a painting, a painter, it is described by here. I understand that I read this collection really fast. I think I could have dedicated more time to each poem, and I think that, as with most great works, the longer I sit with it, the more I go back to it and reread it, the more I'll get out of it. This is a great collection, and I will look into more by this poet. She was the Poet Laureate of the United States from 2012 to 2014. I'm at this point, it's a little after 9, not much point in picking up something else to read. I'm just going to let the timer go. Sorry if that's cheating, I'm not sure, but I've read 3 collections of things, so I think I deserve a break. I have to get ready for work in the morning, so I'm just gonna call it here. And yeah, I don't have Beowulf in here, but just to recap, I read Beowulf, the new translation, and Where the Library Hides, and now Thrall. February is Black History Month, so if you're looking for something to read, I'd recommend this, along with reading books by Black authors throughout the year. Let me get some more poetry collections. So this last part of the video is basically just turning into some, oh gosh, some poetry recommendations while I let the timer run out. Okay, so Quilting, Lucille Clifton, brilliant, must read. Then I have Ashley M. Jones. Discovered this poet at what is the university called? The University of Mississippi for Women, the W, in Mississippi. I was there for a writers conference, and she was a speaker amazing poetry. If you are looking to discover a new poet this February for Black History Month, I highly, highly recommend her poetry. Magic City Gospel, Reparations Now, a few other collections that I need to get to. Amazing. She loves Lucille Clifton, so maybe read this for, ah, God, that scared me. Gosh. Okay. Woo. Sorry about that. So the timer has run out, as you saw, but anyway, we did it. We got through the collection. I was just trying to say that Ashley M. Jones, from what I recall, loves Lucille Clifton. So I recommend reading this first and then getting into these collections. They're all brilliant. And also, of course, Thrall, which I just read. Alright, so I read how many hours? Okay, so in total this weekend, I read about 11 hours. This has definitely made me want to be more aware of my screen time, less on my phone and more focused on just living, because I don't know if I could do this again. I loved how much I got done reading, but it was difficult and a lot of life things got in the way, making this challenge hard. But yeah, I mean, I don't need to be on my phone that much anyway. It definitely helped that 2 hours on Saturday were just camera from when I was using my phone to film, but still 5 hours, 53 minutes, and then 5 hours, 12 minutes is quite a bit each day. Of course, I did split it up, as you saw. I didn't complete the goal yesterday, so I carried it over to today. But yeah, it is now nighttime into Sunday. Challenge completed. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great week and stay tuned for my next video. Bye!